My friend said that I am a bad friend. She's the one who won't apologize.
He's a freaking bad friend.
It's like me. So, to start this off is like to say I'm changing names, ages, and some timestamps so she can't find this. My friend Anna and I have known each other for a few years. When we first met, it was via a fellow friend, and we got pretty close pretty fast. At the time, and for most of this time, she has been my only good friend. By the way, this comes from Second Decent 73 2020 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I had other friends, but none I had talked to or met as often as Anna. It was great, and we had a lot of good times, and still do when we're together. However, she's been single and figuring out her spicy sleepuality this whole time, and I got into a relationship last year. My last breakup left me traumatized, and I believe I have a lot of unresolved mental problems from then that take a lot of energy from me. And naturally, as I've got both a good relationship and a good friendship to take care of, there's been less time for her. She seems to have noticed this and found other close friends, which truly, I'm happy for her. I don't think I can keep up with her needs and wants right now, and they seem to be able to. She has told me on occasion that she feels a bit forgotten after I gotten into a relationship, which I understand. Though I think it's been made worse by the fact that she was basically my only friend for the first year. Most of this isn't actually related to what I'm talking about, but I think it's helpful for context.
Okay, so what we know right now is that
Anna and OP are best friends.
Yeah, and she kind of doesn't really have any other friends. She gets into a relationship, and then Anna feels like she's being neglected friendship-wise.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's about to probably make some sense about
why that's relevant.
Why Anna is about to like do something crazy. However, about a month ago, I was gonna move in with my boyfriend, but I got cold feet. I asked Anna for help, and she helped me formulate my words over a message where I explained what I felt to him. We're big time stoners, and we had smoked 2 joints at this point and was going down a hill to head home, when suddenly she says, I need a break from this relationship.
Oh.
I'm stoned, somewhat confused, as a second ago we were talking about something else. I just go, okay, and she continues to explain how she feels we haven't been together much, that I seem distant and uninterested about things she shares with me or invites me to. She also says I haven't taken much initiative and that I make her feel stupid and useless. She says this, I'm mostly just at a loss for words. I feel bad, but I don't know if it's guilt or just that I feel like she's not right, or if it's just paranoia from all of this after 2 joints and a mentally exhausting weekend. Either way, I agree with her, and we split ways shortly after. I get home and I write a long, angry paragraph about how it made me feel. I later shortened it down and made it nicer and sent it to her about a week or 2 later. I am a slow emotional processor, as well as that I was moving places and working full time in this time period. I could check what I wrote, but I think the gist of it is I agree with some of the things, but I'm sad and hurt that you felt it had to come to this point before taking it up with me, as well as we feel very cornered by the timing and how it was brought up. I then chose to mention a few things that I didn't agree on, such as taking initiative and leaning too much on her. She's been asking me to open up forever, but when I do, it's too much apparently. And she wrote back and said that she felt because we hadn't been as much together that it wasn't naturally for her to come to me with stuff, and therefore it became an imbalance where I came to her with quite heavy stuff and she didn't come to me. Okay, so Anna's like, even when you come to me, it's too much. And I can't handle it.
I want to say that I feel like in this specific situation, there is a huge chance that OP is kind of not like we're getting this from OP's side. And so we really don't know if she has been kind of neglecting her friend or friendship for the relationship, which I think is, I mean, it is a possibility and is something that happens quite a lot in relationships sometimes. Yeah. But so, yeah, I think you just have to have a conversation with and say like, what have you noticed? Is there a way that we can work through this, or is it just,
Yeah. Because it seems like OP is coming to her just to kind of, I don't know, like trauma dump on her.
Yeah.
And
well,
Anna,
at least that's what Anna thinks. Yeah.
Yeah, and Anna's not being able to come back and like say how she feels about things. That's the vibe I'm getting.
That is the vibe, and also that's what she's expressing.
And so, and OP also has a hard time emotionally processing things. So I think by the time she realizes how she feels, she comes to Anna and it's like a lot. Yeah. Instead of like, how do I actually feel, and working through it in like a lecture.
Yeah.
Okay, which I understand. I don't feel like I can blame her for it. She said that she felt I often say no to her invitations and that I haven't been inviting her as much, and that is true. However, my side of the story is that she often invites me to parties where there's booze or big groups of people, neither which I enjoy. And she knows this. So naturally, I'm going to say no to most of these invitations. And then life just gets in the way at other times. When I've invited her, however, she has plans many days and sometimes even a week or two ahead. Our schedules just haven't lined up, but we've tried to meet when we can. I've been very okay with this, as I don't feel like we've become any less friends just because we have time apart. And if anything, it gives us more to talk about when we do meet. But it seems it's been a real problem for her. She claims that she invites me to these settings because she misses me and she wants to introduce me to her new friends, which truly is a good thought. But to me, I feel like she doesn't take into account who I am and what I like when she mostly invites me to this, and I feel bad every time I have to say no. It sounds like, you know what, I'm not going to dox this person, but it sounds like one of your friends.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
I was about to say I have a very similar relationship to this friend, except ours is much healthier.
Yeah.
I was literally just going to bring that up. I have a friend who I invite, like one of my best friends who I invite to everything. I'm like, hey, you know, open invite to all the things we throw. And she barely comes because, and I know her. I'm like, I want you to feel like you're invited to things, but also I know that you're an introvert and you don't want to come to these things, and we're totally fine with that. But our thing is that we make other plans, like we'll do solo things, or we'll do a thing with our other friends, and we'll make sure that we're still hanging out and we're texting. We call each other like almost every day.
Yeah.
And so there's still like an active effort, you know, on both ends where we're making sure that we're spending time and stuff, even though she's not coming to any of these things that I'm inviting her to.
Yeah, and I think they just need to have that.
They just need to have that conversation.
I don't think OP knows how to have that conversation.
Yeah.
I wish they were watching this right now so they knew how to have this conversation with Anna.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Can you get the gist here?
Yeah, because
it just sounds like OP wants to smoke a few and just chill out.
And just chill out. And that's fine. Because, I mean, with my friend, every time I invite her to something, I invite her and I say, I know you probably aren't going to come, but like, here's the invite. And it's not like I know you're not going to come. It's just like, I know you. It's fine. I just want you to know that you're always invited to things. Yeah. But also, this is going to be a big event, so you're going to be overwhelmed. So it's just like having that communication. But yeah, no, I was thinking that exact same thing. I have a very similar setup, I would say, not friendship. We have a very different friendship to these people. Our friendship is so much better.
So much better. You won't even believe how much better it is.
But it's like the same setup of, you know, we both enjoy different things. Yeah. We both have very busy schedules, and we make it work.
Yeah, Anna's an extrovert. OP's an introvert.
Yeah.
You have to work with that.
Gotta work with it.
I'll also find her wanting to do stuff or go take a drink or other things that cost money, and I don't have the budget for that anytime. She's got a lot of money in her savings and a soft cushion to fall on if she ever goes broke. I don't, so I've been feeling angsty about meeting her when I don't have any money to, and I especially don't want to be at a bar sober and not even be able to have a beer. Only fun thing to do then is hook up, and I'm not single, so that's not an option.
Having spicy sleep is the only fun thing to do at these parties. I can't even do that. So
can't even do that. So they're pointless to me. Another situation I'd like to bring in is when we were gonna meet after work one day. When she got off at 3, so I asked her over Snap the day before when we were gonna meet. She didn't open it and called me after work and said she'd have to fix a few things before we could meet, but she should be ready in an hour or two. I can't really blame her for this because I could have called and asked. But I downloaded Snapchat recently in belief that she used it more than messages, and in order to keep in touch with her and others more easily. I do have ADHD, so I can be pretty impatient. If you have it too, you probably know what I call waiting mode. To me, whenever there's less than an hour until I have to leave, I can't do anything big. I can't go for a walk, I can't make food, I can't do a quick workout session, or even turn a movie on in fear that I'll forget. And even if I can turn on a movie, it gives me this constant feeling of being distracted from something more important, and I can't enjoy the movie. Do you feel this way?
Yeah. Yeah. Really? For sure. Yeah. No, like if I have to leave in an hour, I'm like, that whole hour is just me. I have to go. You know?
Really?
Like I can't do it. Like I'm either getting ready or I'm just waiting.
That's interesting. Because like whenever like our live stream's about to happen, that's different. So it's not big to you.
It's different.
Wow.
No, I mean like
you heard it first, guys. Live streams to her are big to her.
No, they are big. They are big, and it's just different.
Okay.
It's like I'm not going somewhere.
So when she calls me about 1.5 hours later and asks to come by another 2 hours later, I've already spent about 3 or 4 hours preparing to meet her and being able to do much. I've told her that this is something that really affects me, and I get seriously impatient to the point where my blood boils. My heart races, and if the plans aren't happening, I'm going to cry out of frustration. She's usually late, and I can handle the 5 to 20, 30 minutes wait pretty well. My problem is that I don't feel like she takes this into account and tries to take an earlier bus. I've actually seen her wait inside the door until Google Maps tell her to go, only to lose the bus when she initially was early, yet she won't change her walking speed on the app. Anyways, when she asks me to come later, I tell her that I really don't want to wait any longer. She needs to bargain with me and lets me know that we didn't have a planned time, and therefore it's not her fault I've been waiting so long. She also tells me I should have called, and she just doesn't want to open any snaps. Eventually, we agree that I'll meet her an hour earlier than she wanted, and when I get there, I try to explain that this is very hard for me to keep waiting and knowing we're going to meet up soon, only for it to be pushed further and further away. She starts talking about her bipolar disorder and how it can make her time perception bad, and how she can get stuck on certain tasks because of her OCD. So these two are just not compatible whatsoever.
Yeah, it seems like they're both putting all of the, the blame on their respective like mental
Issues.
diagnosis and stuff. And it's like, okay, you guys need to figure out a way to, for that to work.
Yeah.
Or the friendship is not going to work down.
I don't say anything back because I don't want to ruin the mood, but I'm deeply hurt by this. I understand her, and as someone with effed up time perception, I do understand that sometimes time just moves too fast. I also understand getting caught up on tasks, as I'll often forget my wallet, and then my keys, and then my water bottle, and then it repeats. So I get her. I just feel like it's a crappy way of saying, oh, I'm sorry you feel like crap because of me, but it's actually not me at all. It's a symptom of 2 of my diagnosis.
But that's what you're doing, OP.
All while she hasn't really even said sorry. Yeah,
I feel like you're both doing the same thing.
Yeah,
which is annoying. Yeah, it's like you're both doing the exact same thing. You're both blaming it on your diagnoses. Like you saying, oh, it's my ADHD, and her saying, oh, it's my OCD and like bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, figure a way that works out for you.
They're not taking accountability.
No. Like everyone's blaming each other for something instead of actually saying, you know what? Like, hey, I've noticed you know what? I'm so sorry that you're feeling that way. I'll try and make an active effort to be better. These are some things that could help. Like maybe if we met one-on-one, maybe that would be better. Like you find solutions instead of constantly blaming, I
understand that our diagnosis and problems with them are polar opposites, as I need to now know how long it is until we meet, and she often doesn't know. But I feel like I get the short end of the stick every time, and I always have to wait for her. I honestly can't even remember a time she was early. We've been talking a bit back and forth over messages about this. Very long messages with hours to days in between each one. The last one she sent was rather short and ended with, I'd like to take this in person. I replied and apologized for something that I already apologized for. After the initial apology, I asked for clarification on something she wrote and ended with a note. I've mentioned a few things that are important for me moving forward that you haven't really said anything about, and I'd like a reply from you before we talk about this in person. To which she said, yes, I understand and I hear you. Only then to clarify that what I asked about, and then asked to meet in person again. Now this really stunk because again, I feel that I have to take her needs into account when she won't take my needs into account. I've been going back and forth on why I need this digital reply first, and I've concluded that it's because I don't want to sit there and hear all the crap things about myself if she's not going to take any of what I said and apologize for at least some of it. She just doesn't want to waste her time.
Yeah, but I feel like in-person conversations are better because you can't misinterpret things.
Yeah, I'm misinterpreting a lot.
I don't know. It seems like you guys have just different ways of dealing with functioning.
It's not that I don't want my problems to take focus, but she has a history of not really caring about how I feel when she's mad. She left me very upset, and I've had to ask her to apologize more than once, and I'm not gonna just let her walk all over me and swallow my pride if she won't at least a bit of back it up. And I'd like the face-to-face conversation to be about her and what she feels, so getting a reply from her over messages first would help us accomplish that. And you can accomplish joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, wherever. Just tap her profile.
Tap it.
How you feeling about this? Feels like a long rant.
Yeah, it does feel like a long rant, and it feels like OP's not willing to kind of accept any of her role in it, and it seems like neither is Anna. So maybe time
Couples
just
therapy.
yeah, honestly.
Is there a thing
Yeah.
as friends therapy?
I don't think so.
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could probably just go to couples therapy as friends.
That would be
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
man.
that Ming Ming says, yeah, seems like friend is self-diagnosing to one up OP. That is a possibility.
Yeah, they're just like one-upping each other.
They're just
Claire,
like,
yeah.
oh, you did this, then well, you're mad at me for this. Well, how about this? And
Yeah.
it's just a back and forth. I don't know how to fix this for you guys. You guys have to have a conversation, but neither of you willing.
I'm willing to have that conversation. At last, I texted her and said, I now voice to you that I need a reply from you before we meet. I'd like to meet you in person and talk about this, but I need better response than I understand and I hear you. I've agreed that we should be better at talking and meeting, but I feel this shouldn't be a constant need. I'm not the person who can meet you often for long periods of time, and honestly, I don't want friendships that depend on how often we meet. She's yet to reply, but I know she's at our fellow friend's Halloween party right now. I was supposed to be there, but I got hit with a migraine at work and had to go home. Also, I gotta say, I'm rather uncomfortable with the whole situation. I don't know how to talk to her in this mood without being bossy. So better not to talk, I guess. Anyways, there's more to the story, so please ask if there's anything unclear. So am I the a-hole? You both are.
I think you're both the a-hole.
Yeah, you both are a-holes for not.
They both need some time apart to figure out, because they seem like maybe Anna's a little bit codependent because they are their
Yeah.
closest friends, or maybe OP is actively neglecting the friendship. I think there's a lot of different, reasons, but either way, they both need to communicate better if this friendship is going to last.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing that's annoying is like I never got a time. Anna's like, yeah, we'll talk, but Anna never set a time. That's what I saw too.
Yeah.
I think I agree with OP on that point, but they're
Sure.
both, I don't
Messy.
know. Ming Ming, true, it's a friendship fallout, a brewing.
Brewing. But that is the end of that story.